Quick gut check. If your paycheck landed right now, could you tell me, without checking your phone, exactly where every single dollar is about to go? Most people can't. And that's not because they're bad with money. It's because they don't have a system. They have vibes. I've met people making $40,000 a year who are already in their rich era. And I've met people making $150,000 a year who are still stuck, making broke era mistakes every single payday. I'm Naomi, and today I'm giving you my exact paycheck routine. But I'm not going to give it to you based on how much you make. I'm going to give it to you based on which money era you're actually living in right now. Stay till the end, because I'll tell you exactly how to know which era you're in and exactly what to automate this week to move to the next one. The 3 money eras. Here's the framework. There are 3 eras everyone moves through with money. The broke era. This isn't about your bank balance. It's about behavior. You're reactive. Money comes in, money disappears, and you genuinely don't know where it went. The building era. You've got some structure, you're saving something, but you're still winging half your decisions. Era 3 is the rich era. Your money moves without you. It's automated. It's intentional. And every dollar has a job before it even hits your account. The goal of this video is simple. Wherever you are right now, I'm going to show you the exact next move. The broke era. If you're in the broke era, welcome. No judgment here. I've been there too. The broke era isn't a moral failing. It's just a system that hasn't been built yet. Step 1. The second your paycheck lands, cover your minimum payments, credit cards, auto loans, student loans, whatever you've got. Not because you're paying off debt aggressively yet, we'll get there, but because one missed payment can tank your credit score, and a low credit score is expensive. It raises your interest rates on everything you touch for years. Automate your minimums first, non-negotiable. Step 2, and this is the one everyone skips because it feels boring. Track every dollar for one full pay cycle. Not an app, not a vibe, an actual list. Everything that leaves your account. I know, it sounds miserable, but here's why it matters. You cannot fix a leak you haven't found. Most people in the broke era aren't overspending on rent. They're bleeding $20 here, $15 there, on things they don't even remember buying by the time the statement comes. Step 3, open a high-yield savings account, basically a savings account that actually grows while you sleep, and automate just $10 into it. I'm not joking, $10. In 2026, high-yield accounts are paying somewhere around 3.5% to 4%, which is nothing compared to the 0.1% your regular bank gives you. But the amount isn't the point right now. The habit is the point. You're training your brain to treat saving like a bill instead of a leftover. Once that habit sticks, you increase the number. Most people fail here because they try to jump straight to saving 50% of their income in week 1, burn out in 3 weeks, and quit completely. Small and automatic beats big and abandoned every single time. Bridge. Once that $10 habit sticks, you're officially ready to graduate out of the broke era. Welcome to the building era. This is where real wealth actually gets built. The building era. Once your minimums are covered, you know exactly where your money goes, and saving is a habit and not a struggle. You've graduated into the building era. Step 4, build your real emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of your true necessities. Rent, groceries, utilities, transportation, insurance. Not your target runs, your actual bills. If your necessities cost $2,500 a month, your target is somewhere between $7,500 and $15,000 sitting in that same high-yield account. Completely liquid, completely boring, completely untouched unless your car breaks down or you lose your job. Step 5. And this one genuinely upsets me when people skip it. Get your full employer 401k match. If your company matches 3% and you're not contributing at least that much, you are leaving free money on the table every single paycheck. That's not an investment tip. That's a math fact. A 100% instant return on day one doesn't exist anywhere else. It's like finding money on the sidewalk and just walking past it. Step 6, open a Roth IRA if you don't have one. Basically, a retirement account where your money grows completely tax-free. And automate contributions into it. In 2026, the limit is $7,500 a year if you're under 50. The beauty of a Roth is that you pay taxes on the money now, while you're presumably in a lower bracket than you'll be in later. And then, every dollar it grows into is yours, tax-free forever. The government will never touch the growth. Automate even $100 a month into it if that's all you've got. Consistency beats perfection here. Step 7. Start attacking high-interest debt, anything above roughly 15%. You've got two options. Avalanche, where you kill the highest interest rate first, which saves you the most money mathematically, or Snowball, where you kill the smallest balance first, which feels the best psychologically. Honestly, pick whichever one you'll actually stick to. A perfect plan you abandon in month 2 is worse than an imperfect plan you finish. The rich era. Once your emergency fund is full, your match is captured, your Roth is funded, and your high-interest debt is gone. You've made it. This is the rich era. And I want to be clear, this has nothing to do with your income bracket. I know people at this stage making $60,000 a year who feel more financially secure than people making $300,000 who never built these steps. Step 8. Max out what you can. In 2026, the 401k limit is $24,500 if you're under 50. Most people won't hit that number, and that's completely fine. The goal is direction, not perfection. Step 9. Open a taxable brokerage account for everything beyond your retirement accounts. No special tax treatment here, but also no restrictions. You can access it anytime. This is where long-term, boring, low-cost index funds do the heavy lifting. You are not trying to beat the market. You are trying to own it. Step 10. And this is the step almost nobody talks about. Start buying back your time and building income that doesn't depend on you clocking in. That could be dividend income, a side skill you monetize, rental income eventually, anything that pays you while you sleep. This is the actual definition of rich, not the number in your account. The fact that your money works, even when you don't. Why people fall back an era. Now, here's the part that nobody puts in these videos, and it's honestly the most important part. People don't usually fail because they never built the system. They fail because they build it once, and then they quietly let it rot. Here's what that looks like. You get a raise. Instead of increasing your savings percentage, your lifestyle just expands to match it. New car, bigger apartment, and somehow you feel exactly as stressed about money as you did before the raise. That's not a coincidence. That's lifestyle creep. And it's the single biggest reason high earners stay stuck in the building era their entire lives. Or this happens. You automate everything. Feel amazing for 2 months, and then you never look at it again. Your rent goes up, your automated transfer doesn't, and slowly, your buffer disappears without you ever making a single bad decision. You just stopped paying attention. The fix is simple, but it's not automatic. Every time your income changes, and I mean every single time, you sit down for 10 minutes and adjust your numbers. That 10 minutes is the actual difference between someone who builds wealth and someone who builds a system. Feels good about it once, and then slowly slides backward without noticing. So here's your homework. Comment below which era you're actually in right now. Broke, building, or rich. No judgment, I mean it. And this week, pick one step from your era and automate it. Not next month, this week. If this helped you figure out where you actually stand with money, subscribe. Because next week I'm breaking down exactly what looking rich is costing people who are actually broke. And it might change how you see every purchase you make. I'll see you in the next one.